Alright, welcome back to Packet Tracer. This is activity 714, using commands to test network functionality. So we're going to be using some tools and commands to check the status of our network, using ping, traceroute, telnet, SSH, ARP, ipconfig, show, and debug commands. So let's go ahead and get started. From PC 1, we're going to establish our console connection to switch 1. So we go to our desktop, go to the terminal. So here we are on switch 1, and we want to enable that one. It wants a password, and they've given us the password of class to get in there. So once we're in there, we want to do a show running config, and we'll just look at a few things we can learn from that. So right away you can see the host name is S1. We've got our enable, our privileged exec mode password is secret, and you can't see what it is. It's encrypted. And we can look through all the interfaces. Not giving us too much information about that. When you get down to the bottom, you can see our VLAN address, default gateway. Here's our console line and our telnet with the password of Cisco. So let's do a show IP interface brief. So this shows us all the interfaces, just a little bit about them. You can see that the first 4 are turned on and up, so it looks like they're connected, but they don't have any IP addresses assigned to them yet. And then you can see our VLAN 1, and that one is up as well. And if we go to show version, you get all kinds of information about the version of the software that you have on here. We're at 12.2. Let's see what else we got here. Lets you know about the hardware of the device. Lets you know we have 24 fast Ethernet interfaces and 2 gigabit Ethernet, and just a bunch of other information, serial numbers, motherboard number, model number. So a lot of information about the hardware. And we've got 26 ports, model number, and here is the image that we currently have on this router. Or I guess we're on a switch. Let's now go to show CDP neighbors. That shows you what we're connected to. R2 and R1 looks like routers. Shows you the interface that they're connected to. Capability is R, so you can look up here, R for router, and they're C1841s. It looks like we're plugged into 0/0 on both of those. And now we can do show CDP neighbors detail, and that's going to give us a lot more information. Where did that information start? Right here. So here's R2. We've got the IP address, lets you know the model. It's a router. This is what it's plugged into. This is what it's going to. Shows you the version of that software on that router. And then we go down here and we've got router R1. Same thing. IP address, what ports it's going in, what ports it's going into, version of it. So we are going to write down the IP address of that router. We're going to need that later, of R1, so that's 192.168.2.1. Alright, so now we're going to telnet to the router, because we're not connected to, we're just connected to the switch, so we need to use telnet to get to the router. (192.168.2.1) and these are the passwords that we saw. Password of Cisco to get us into that one. And to enable it, we have to do the class password again. So we can do a show running config or just show run. And you can see there's the secret. Encrypt it again. You can see now for the router, the Fast Ethernet 0001 serial ports all have IP addresses assigned to them. This serial port 0/1/0 is the DCE side. It's got the clock rate of 64,000. We've got EIGRP configured, autonomous system number 1, with 2 networks configured. We've got our VTY, which is our telnet, with the password Cisco on there. If we look at our IP interfaces, you can see there's 3 of them that are up and assigned. If we do show interface, we get a whole bunch of information about each interface. We've got IP address up here. We've got MAC address. These are up. We've got our MTU bytes here. So just a ton of information on each interface on the router. Show version. We saw this before, pretty much the same as the switch. Shows our system image file. The version 12.3 lets you know how many interfaces are on it. 2 Fast Ethernet, 2 serial. We've got some, looks like some flash memory on there, NVRAM as well. We can do show IP route to learn some more information. This will let you know what's connected in what way. You can see your, for the D is the EIGRP routes. So that will show you the routing table. Now we did a show IP protocols, gives you some more information about EIGRP there. We've got it routed for these 2 networks here. And we're getting routing information from these other ones, which I'm assuming are the other routers. Gives you some information about where you're getting your EIGRP updates. And we can look at EIGRP RP neighbors. So we got the 1.6, the 1.10, and the 2.2. Lets you know what interface they're on. All that good stuff. Show IP EIGRP topology. So this one lets you know some more about how you're being routed through the network. They're all labeled P for passive. And show CDP neighbors detail. So once we did that, yeah, you can see here we've got R3 IP address right there. Switch 1, which we've already been into, was 2.3. Lets you know the version information about all of them. R2 is 1.10. But that's about it. That's just, they want you to keep going through and going into the other routers that we just uncovered the IP addresses of and do the same thing just to kind of look at the network. But I think we get the gist of that one. Just going through learning these show commands so you can see what's going on in the network. You can get a lot of information just from one PC. Using the commands you can find out about all the different routers and make sure everything's working as expected. So that about wraps this one up. Thank you very much for watching.